Hello, my name is Jess Haig. I'm a librarian at the University of Huddersfield. I am going to do today a short video on the reflections from the LILAC conference, that's the Librarians Information Literacy Annual Conference that was held in Swansea last week. Before I go though, I think it's very important to state today is the day that Theresa May has called a possible general election in June. At the end of LILAC there was a large call to arms of librarians going, well, what can we do about the state of the world? Well, this right now is our chance to get out there and show people what librarians are good at, and that is finding and evaluating and criticising and condensing and creating and getting out there information that is credible. And I think this election will be one that people vote for with their gut, and our job is to make sure that they know exactly what they're voting for. So that's my first reflection. Take what we've learned from LILAC, that people are angry, people are confused, and librarians have the skills to educate and also to evaluate. So I think that's something that we should definitely start doing. If you haven't already got how to register to vote on your front page of your library social networks, do it. If you haven't already started conversations in the office about, well, have you registered to vote, then do it. If you've not already put it on your Facebook feed or whatever, do it. Get the message out there. We need people to vote in whatever way they choose, but this election needs to mean something, and it only does that if you have an actual democracy rather than 37% of people voting. So my general reflection for the conference themselves, I wasn't really going to do on a video because I thought there would be a lot. I was on the conference committee, so I had to be very careful to be professional at all times. So I'm not going to comment really on everything I saw, although I did see some incredibly good papers that people put a lot of effort and time into and were presented excellently. So although I was chairing most of the sessions I was in, and therefore couldn't really make any notes because I was so conscious of trying to keep people to time and what have you, and making sure they were happy. I really did enjoy it. I thought the week went by really, really quickly. In general, I thought the atmosphere was really positive. Swansea was beautiful. The local reps for Swansea, Laurie and Giles, were just incredible. They were so helpful and so welcoming and made everything just go 20 times easier than it could have done. So thank you to Swansea. My general reflections are that the mood of the conference seemed to be, as I said at the beginning, quite angry, but towards the end, definitely looking at more critical information literacy, which is always good to see, than previous years. Now, bearing in mind I've been to 2 LILACs previous, so this could be a flash in the pan, but I just think that it seems to be people are getting more and more educated about the state of information society and being more angry, and also being more aware that they do have a role to play within that society, and they are information professionals, and it is actually their job to be informed and to be on top of things such as how people are getting their information outside of their own library network. So that was really good to see it actually being discussed. Hopefully in 2 years' time people will be coming back to LILAC with action points that they've done successfully. On Monday, really my thing that I wanted to highlight the most was my moment of the conference, which was the session in Monday afternoon. There was 2 half-hour talks. One was on human libraries and one was on using Black Lives Matter with information literacy teaching. The human library, there were 2 people presenting. There were 3 people's names on the programme. So there were Nancy Goebel, Yvonne Becker and Clara Blizzard, and then there was Angela Pashier. And both of these sessions, I'd say, were my definite teaching highlights, learning highlights of the conference. I thought the idea of you having a human library where people can come in and speak to people about their lived experiences, whether that's something traumatic that's happened to them, the fact that they live in a world where they are stigmatised for something that is about them or whatever. I thought that was such a good idea. It's something I'm definitely going to try and think about doing with some of my groups next year, see if I can get any speakers in that will work for. And Angela Pashier was just wonderful. I thought she was just such an eloquent speaker. She made me really angry, but at the same time, like, I could change the world and do positive things through educating people about how quite a lot of information systems are hugely racist and problematic, and that needs to be sorted out. So yeah, I think that kind of, those two sessions got me started in the way of thinking this isn't going to be like other mainstream conferences I've been to. People are actually caring about the world and wanting to make a difference, and this is wonderful. So yeah, that was Monday, and then we had the networking evening, which was just a blast. And again, Swansea, they were so good, and it was just nice to see people having fun, but also talking and having quite serious conversations sometimes, which need to be had. On Tuesday, I had the Legadathon. I was in it again. I was presenting. I also presented on Monday, but we won't go into that. I think the Legadathon continues to be a really good idea. It's a really good way of getting more active things that you've been trying out and experiments that you want to try in other people out there. It's if you're thinking, oh, I really wish I'd done that, go do it next year. It's so low pressure. You have to repeat yourself a few times, and it is a little bit of kind of worry that your product or whatever is going to look absolutely pants compared to the other people's, but you know what, it doesn't matter. It's really safe, it's really friendly, it's a little bit of fun, and although we didn't win, I think we've come away with loads of useful information about what we're going to do with it next and where we're going to take the idea, so that was really good. And then my highlight really for the rest of Tuesday was Lorna Dodd's session of embedding information literacy through critical skills. She's in such a good position within her university to be able to embed information literacy, and especially the more critical side of information literacy, into the whole curriculum of the whole campus. I think that's wonderful, and that really needs to be the model that other universities start looking at and going, yes, that would work for me, that would work for my students. And I think as critical or whatever goes up the agenda of folks in charge, and that should be something that should evolve, and I'm very excited to see that happen. I hope it does. And then Wednesday, of course, we had Alan Carberry's brilliant keynote. He was so engaging, he was so enthusiastic, but also gave some really kind of good ideas. He also showed a bit of the filter bubbles video that was mentioned in the Angela Pashia's talk, and I really thought that was such a good idea, and I've tried it this morning, and it is possible. You can get students to Google something on their phone. He used the example of Egypt. I am going to try and find some more examples that may be a little bit less inflammatory, thinking of my current students. But Google something, take a screenshot of that, and use Padlet. Get them to pop it onto the screen so everybody can see each other's. I think that's a really good idea. I think it's such an instant way of getting people to go, oh yeah, mine's different to theirs, and that's why. But the idea that we have to teach people how information works, I think, is really important to us as librarians and information professionals. It shouldn't have to be said to people now like it's a new thing, though. That worried me a little bit. People go, I didn't know anything about this. We've lived in this society for so many years, and this has been going on for so many years, and if you're only just finding out about this now, then I applaud you going out there and looking for more information about this. If you want to be more radical as a librarian, there are dozens of us. There are dozens of us. Have a look at the Radical Librarians camp, and have a look and talk to people on Twitter. And you know, most of us would be more than happy to have a conversation with people over email. I've got a very long reading list on my blog, Jester'sTeaching.wordpress. There are lots and lots and lots of people saying stuff about this. I would recommend everyone reads Eamon Toole's dissertation on Google and algorithms and how they are basically evil and are dictating how people learn about the world. I'd also recommend, and I've been saying this for over 2 years now, people get up to speed on YouTube and how it's used as an education tool. This is the second biggest website in the world. This is how most people will learn. They won't go to university, they won't go to college, they'll go on YouTube, they'll find a video showing them how to do it. It's peer-to-peer learning, and this is how it is nowadays, and there is so little librarian presence on YouTube. There's book blogs, there's no librarian blogs, and I think there needs to be a concerted effort from people who have the time, and that's one thing I've taken away from this conference. You can have lots and lots of ideas. It isn't your job to do them all. There are people who are paid to have the time to do them. Why aren't they on YouTube? Why isn't there a CILIP YouTube presence that actually is meaningful? There's been videos the last week coming out from Channel 4, from Facebook, on how to spot fake news. There isn't a CILIP one. And that needs to be sorted, and it needs to be sorted today. A general election is being called, and we need that out there. So my takeaways really are that this is the start of something big, and we need to embrace that. If you have any comments or questions, please stick them in the box below. And if you would like to contact me to talk about it further, again, just message me. You can DM me. I'm on Twitter. I'm at BookelfLeeds. Or you can just have a look for me online and you can find me. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful summer.